Well, we kind of do the same routine no matter if people have been on the show or not, because we're constantly getting new listeners. So let's find out a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? Did you just go to college? What did you study while you were in there? Did you have a working life as an employee? Kind of the things that led you up to what you're currently doing.
Okay. Okay, let's see. So I am Eloise, of course, and I am a Haitian born and raised in Haiti. I moved here to the state when I was 16 years old. Although I used to travel ever since I was like 9 years old, 8 to 9 years old, I used to travel every year for vacation. But 16, that was a transition when I started to live here. But outside of that, I am in healthcare. That's my background mainly. But now I'm in entrepreneurship when it comes to finances. So I do the best of both worlds, healthcare and finances. So that's me.
All right, well, that's the short version. We like a little bit of a longer version. What brought you to the United States, for instance?
So we moved here right after the earthquake back in 2010. I don't know if you guys have, remember that big news that happened. Yeah. So we moved shortly right after. My parents were like, hey, we don't think there will be any more life here in Haiti. So it's best to move to the States. And that's when we transitioned over here. Then I lived with my aunt and uncle, which they're like my mom and my dad as well. So I always tell people I have 2 moms and 2 dads. So from there, life started as a high school student because I transitioned right into a 10th grader, and which was a bit tough because I lived in Haiti my whole life, and now I'm in America now, learning the system here, the education system and everything else. So it was a bit of a culture shock for me to live, not for vacation, but to live. So from there, I spent, after my 10th grade, they have asked me to redo the 10th grade again to see if I was capable to move forward to my 11th grade. And granted, I excel. My GPA was like 3.9.
I was going to say.
And they allowed me. They allowed me to move forward.
You were probably ahead of the students that you
I was way ahead of them.
Yes, I figured as much.
Yeah.
And so you proved yourself, and then after?
Yes, and then I graduated in 2013, but that was in Seminole County. So Seminole High School, Seminole County, that's where I pretty much lived my whole life as a young adult. So,
and what'd you do immediately after high school?
I actually started to work at Subway.
Okay.
I worked at Subway, and that was interesting because once again, it's like I'm learning the ways of living here. So my parents were like, hey, now that you're 18, you're graduated, you don't have to go to school right away. So I found a job at Subway, and I love the fact that I was able to bring free cookies home every day. When we made a batch, we could bring the chocolate chip, and that was my favorite one, or the white macadamia ones. But it was like... I was like, I've never worked back home. Lifestyle in Haiti for me, it was just school, home, church, and just vacation. So coming here to having to work was like, this is new for me, but I guess this is how I have to do it because I'm an adult now. I'm 18, and that's how they do it here in America. So it was a lot of learning, a lot of like unlearning for me to get adjusted here. It was hard.
What was the hardest part about it? Was it just everything you said there, or was there something specific that made it extra difficult?
I would say because I didn't want to leave home, but it was because of the earthquake. We had to move here. So it was like I had no other choice. So coming here, it was like I have to make new friends. I have to learn new environments. I have to speak English every day. Although back home I already knew how to speak English, but here I have to actually speak it every day of my life, learning new vocabulary and having to get out of my comfort zone. I didn't want to do that. And I was a teenager. So as a teenager, having to learn all of that, and I'm going through so many more emotions, like the confidence, the self-esteem. And now I'm having to move to a new country and having to learn more. It was just quite a bit heavy, that whole transition. But thankfully we had our church at the time. They took us in, and that's when I pretty much got most of my structure. My foundation was at that church with the youth pastor and teaching us the ways of here, and our family as well, and a few family friends. They welcomed us really well, and from there I became integrated. It was nice, and so I got more comfortable.
Well, when we get to the subject matter of what you're doing today, it's beginning to sound like it was in preparation of what you're doing today, what you went through.
Absolutely. Now when I see others that are coming on now from Haiti or a different country, I understand what they may go through, like the the language barrier, even the culture shock as well. I'm able to kind of, hey, be more patient with them and more gracious because I was once there too. So I extend the patience.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
A lot of preparation.
All right. You're an author. We're going to talk about that during the show.
Yeah.
But first of all, can you tell folks how they can find out more about you, your social media platforms, if you have a website, what that is, please?
Yes. So on Instagram, I'm Eloise_Naika. On Facebook, it's Eloise Benoit. So it's my first and last name. And my website is madeformorelegacy.com. So that I'm mainly more on Instagram and Facebook. You will see everything that I do, both in the community, the authorship, the entrepreneurship. Every now and then I throw in some little bit of lifestyle, but not so much. And then Facebook is about the same thing. And then my website as well. You can check out my book. You can check out the tax consultation if you need to get your taxes done, which I know you're going to talk about that. And it's madeformorelegacy.com. So.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So once again, when we come back from the break, we'll be talking with Eloise about all of that stuff. But after were either your parents or your aunt and uncle, were they entrepreneurs or what did they do?
My uncle was an entrepreneur. He was into selling cars. So that's the most of entrepreneurship. But there's other uncles as well that were entrepreneurs, but I didn't find out until like I was in my 20s, like mid-20s. I used to sit and just listen to what they do. And then from there, I started picking up on my own too.
Okay, because I was wondering where you perhaps began to get that entrepreneur, flame burning there. All right. So, All right. Well, once again, Eloise's website is madeformorelegacy.com. Just spell it all out, madeformorelegacy.com. And you can find her on Instagram and Facebook. And we'll be back in a moment to continue the conversation with her. But, of course, while you're at it, also go to orlando.score.org, please. Sign up for the newsletter there. That way you'll know everything that is going on at SCORE. And there's always something going on at SCORE. And as we said, the National Entrepreneur Center is where the SCORE offices are located in the Orlando Fashion Square Mall on the West End. And the office hours are 10 to 4, Monday through Thursday, and 10 to 1 on Friday, and plenty of free parking. You don't have to worry about that. Okay? So I hope you'll stick around with us because we will be right back with more of What's the Score? Welcome back to What's the Score? I am Christopher Hart, joined by Jason Jones of SCORE, and our guest today, Eloise Benoit, and she is an author, and we're going to find out more about her philosophy. But Jason wanted to ask her a question about her first job. Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, Eloise, because you said you graduated and then you started working at Subway, and you were happy about bringing home the cookies and things like that. But at that time, like, what was your mindset? Were you thinking, I'm working here, but I want to be an entrepreneur, or like, I know you eventually went into healthcare. Just like, what was your mindset after graduation working at Subway?
So after graduation in high school, the goal was go to college, like a community college, or even go out of the state. So I did apply to some colleges, right? I know you probably get a little bit of taste of that in the island culture where they don't really want you to leave home. So I did apply, although I got accepted, but my parents were like, you can stay home with us if you want to. So that's how Subway came about. Like, I had the job. I was the first one to find a job. Then my cousin, she had a job as well at Jeremiah's. But the goal was go to school, save some money for my first car because I didn't have a car yet. And then from there, I couldn't go to school here, either at Seminole State or Valencia, which at the time, I didn't even want to do any of that. So it would be my little money. I don't even remember how much I made, but it was little, but somehow it was enough. Not like today, but it was enough for us to still go on vacation, still for us to go out to eat. And I had my first car. Like, I saved enough and I purchased my old little blue Volkswagen Jetta. That was my first car. So back then, entrepreneurship was definitely not a thought. It was only healthcare because I was introduced to it. One of my family member introduced me to the healthcare system, and then from there, I was able to go back and get a license. I think it's like a CNA license now. They don't really use that. They do, but they changed it to like PCT now. But anywho, and then from there, I integrated myself to the healthcare, learned a whole lot. Then I'm now back in college for health science. So, but back then it was more, I just want to make some money, save up, get a car, go out to eat, bring the cookies, and nothing else. It was very limited for sure. And I think it's because I didn't really get a chance to be around that. It was more, it was just healthcare and none other than that. There's no other option, at least then.
And how long were you in the healthcare industry?
Oh man, literally, so I worked from Subway from 18 to 21. So at 22, that's when I started working in a nursing home. And that's how I was like, whoa, this system here is completely different. I fell in love with it, don't get me wrong. I started to work in a nursing home in Lake Mary. I learned about the elderly, and my love for them started like grow from there, the passion to take care of other people. And from there, I found a job at a hospital, and I started to grow from the nursing home to a hospital. And then eventually I got to a hospital where I was out now then, and then went back to college. But I was there for a few years. So I think I spent 3 years in a nursing home, then another 3 years at the hospital back in Seminole County.
And then you said back to college and once again studying nursing, healthcare stuff?
Yes. Well, I started school. I went back to college back like in 2023. So this is more recent. I just worked. I just worked those years, gained a lot of experience. Even during COVID, I traveled a little bit within HCA. That's where I worked at, the HCA organization. So I traveled to all of their facilities. I went to different units like the OR, the PCU, the ICU, the emergency room. I even tried the mental health a little bit, just so I could see like where exactly do I want, like where would I like to be, and if I like something or if I don't like it. I knew I didn't want to work with kids, so I never even tried it there. But I would travel, and then I finally found my true passion was trauma, anything trauma or critical care. So when I moved here to Orange County, I found a job here at Orlando Health, and I went straight into the trauma unit.
At what point did you begin to transition into to being an author and doing what you're doing?
So the authorship was doing after COVID. COVID started 2020, 2021. That's when I started to write. I was journaling all of my emotion. In healthcare, it's pretty heavy. You know, we do a lot. We see a lot. It's it takes a toll on you emotionally, physically, mentally. And my runaway was writing. Even though I was young, when I was young, I always used to write, but I found my safe place by writing, by journaling my thoughts, my emotions, just trying to let go of everything I've seen, like throughout work, like the workload. And from there, it was in year 2022 where I had this burden to write, and it was just like, let me write some more, as if like a book is like turning, like I'm writing a book, but I didn't even know it was a book at the time. So I just continued to write, but every now and then there was like an impression into my heart, like you're writing a book, you're technically writing a book. So I reached out to a few people that I knew already became an author, and I was like, guys, I'm journaling, but I think I'm also journaling my thought process. And that's why my book is named Unwired, because remember I mentioned I had limited mindset. Unwired became like me unprocessing all of the unlearning, like so many things that I didn't know, like the old some certain beliefs, certain limitation. And I started to write about it in a form of poetry. And from there, I was literally emotionally like releasing so many things on that paper. And then one day I sat down, I said, we're going to finish this thing and put it into a whole little mini book, which was 2023. And then I released the book. I set a date. I said, I think I'm becoming an author. And I kept the secret. It was just me and a few people that were authors already. And I wrote the book. But while I was writing, I was also like thinking of the title of the book. It wasn't Unwired at first. It was Detangled. And I had drew like a ball of thread, as if like, you know, we're removing each thread one at a time, because I'm unwiring every thought process, certain things I didn't know. And then from there, I started being in different rooms as well. So now I'm being exposed to different mindset, like, you know, entrepreneurs at the time and authors. And I was like, wait, I only knew healthcare, right? So I was like, whoa, there's so much more to this. And then from there, from Detangled, and then one day Unwired came. I said, okay, Unwired it is. And then I drew the cassette tape, and that's the cover of my book now. It's a cassette tape that is unwiring, and it's called Unwired.
Can people get the book at your website and on Amazon?
Absolutely. It's on Lulu.com and Amazon. So if you go on my website, Made for More Legacy, you'll see it on there too to purchase. And it's on my Instagram bio too. You can get on there too, and Facebook.
Okay. All right. It's called Unwired, and fascinating. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm curious. Thanks, Chris. So what was like one thing or maybe something you can share with us that you had to kind of let go of and rewire? You said you were hanging around like some entrepreneurs and things like that. Like, is there something maybe from the book that you can share with us?
I would say it's mainly the mindset part because of, then all I knew was like, you know what, I just want to be comfortable. Well, I don't really see myself as an entrepreneur, the boss babe life. I never saw that. Even the authorship, I was like, author, who else is an author in the family? Like, come on now, let's be for real. So it was just when I started to speak with other people, I was like, no, if you have something to write, share your story and this and that and third. So the main thing for me was the mindset. My mindset had to switch. And I think in entrepreneurship, you definitely have to have a strong mindset, like to keep going whenever you don't feel like it. There's so many things I had to learn to be able to keep going. And from the book, it became like the foundation for me. Like, okay, you know what? I was able to publish this. I became an author. People are aware about it. Now I need to keep telling people about this. And then from there, whatever goal I put my mind to, I'm able to achieve it. And that was the main thing. If I put my mind to it and there's a deadline, it can be done.
Do you think the book gave you that confidence, or was there something else?
Well, from the Lord as well. from the Lord. And then for me doing it, it was just like, okay, God, you're using me right now. And let's definitely do this. So from talking and pouring right back into others, it continued to build off of that.
And this is, I guess, what I might say is a sort of faith-based is where you're coming from. Would that be fair to say? Yeah. Go ahead. And that was because of your, basically maturing in the church, and because that was kind of your place of refuge, I take it, sort of from.
Yes.
I mean, it's hard enough just being a teenager, right? But coming here from an entirely different country, right in the middle of high school, I mean, that's a high-pressure situation. So the church was your refuge, but it also began the process of developing your foundation for Made for More.
Absolutely. And right after Unwired, that's when Made for More came about, shortly after. So, yes.
All right. Yeah. I was gonna ask you, how did that happen?
So right after the book, I was given an opportunity to mentor some young girls about the same thing. It was about mindset, identity, and so on. So since I already published the book, it became like opportunity for me now to kind of pour into them, right? So I shared my story with them, and I would meet with these young ladies like every weekend during the summer. And these girls are in Africa, by the way. It's an organization through a friend. She was like, I think it would be great to mentor these young girls. And so I did it this is my third year with them. I became their mentor. And every Saturday, like I said, I had a group of 6 girls. We would talk about self-care, confidence, things we've struggled with. And this is a different country. They're based in Kenya, but the girls are from also Nigeria and Ghana. And from the book, I started to do that. And then the thought of Made for More came about. It was like, okay, you know what? I'm truly made for more, and let's build this. So here we are.
All right. And here we are up against a break. So perfect timing. All right.
Exactly.
There you go. Hope you folks will stay with us. We'll continue the conversation with Eloise Benoit, and you can find her book on Instagram, Facebook. You said lulu.com?
Yes.
And
lulu.com.
Amazon. Yep. And also at her website, madeformorelegacy.com. Madeformorelegacy.com. Looking for the book, it's Unwired is the title of it. All right, and we'll continue the conversation when we come back. So I hope you'll please stay with us, because we will be back with more of What's the Score. All right, got Jason Jones of SCORE and myself, Christopher Hart, our guest today, Eloise Benoit. You can find her at madeformorelegacy.com. And Jason, you had another question for Eloise.
Yes, Eloise. So, do you consider yourself to be a coach, or do you have programs? Like, how do people work with you, or is that a thing? Do people work with you in that capacity?
So, through that organization, once again, they're called Big Guild, although they changed their name to Girls Lead Change. So when I built Made for More and I built the business and all that stuff, and, they named me as a mentor. So I was able to work with other coaches. I wouldn't say I'm a coach. I don't have any certificate to prove that I'm a coach, but to the mentorship by just following their guidelines alongside with my own experience and so on, then I became a mentor. And then from there, when I started school again, I became an academically mentor at school, where they chose me to, once again, from my foundation from Haiti to here, having all the strong background. Now at school, I was also mentoring from an academic standpoint. But I wouldn't call myself a coach. But do I work with coaches? Absolutely. Will I love to have another person that's a coach? I do have a friend. He was a life coach, so he will also give me some pointers about certain things that I may need to be sharpened on, or to fix and this and that and third. Then I had some people to keep me accountable that I have. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's time management. Yeah, it's all time management, and it's all by seasons, right? Like, example, I'm in school and I'm a full-time student, although it's online, but I do have to go on campus being a student leader. And so I choose to go on that campus for a few days throughout the week, just to make sure I keep in check with whatever else they ask me to do, whether mentorship or tutoring or whichever, while I'm at my school and self, like making sure my classes, I'm staying on top of it. So that's the basic. Like, it's very structured, very disciplined, right? I have I had to build discipline. But when it comes to everything else I've done, it's just by season. It's not every day that I do those things. So right now, me coming on social media and showing these things, some of them have come from the past, that because I didn't have a social media at the time, I'm now showing the world who I am. Because after, when I moved here to Orange County, I started to attend events. I started to attend events to network with people, to get to know who I am. That's how I met you, by, at BizFest, because I wanted to get to know who all these other people are. If I need to collaborate with someone, therefore I need to go places. And by meeting one person, I end up meeting another and another and another. So I built that right there and then first, because I told myself I want to connect first with people way before I connect with them on social media, although that could be one option as well. But I want it to be livelihood, like the face-to-face connection type of thing. And from there, when I started to show up on social media, I showed up more about my book first, which was already published, already being selling all across, right? And then now, of course, it's a new set of new faces that I'm seeing. They're thinking like, whoa, this girl is brand new, but I wasn't brand new. I've been already doing it. I just started to showcase my work now so I can get more crowd on this social media platform. And of course, when I started school, I never really talked about school on social media, but now people are aware, because when they invite me certain places and I can't attend, and it's because I'm studying, it's a no. And once again, it's because season. Like right now, I couldn't mentor last year because I was taking certain classes that I really needed in my focus. But this year, I'm able to be with them again, to those girls. So they just provided me last week with 3 girls I'll be mentoring this summer. So I'm looking forward to meet them again. And that's how I'm timely managed, is by season. I plan it and I'm able to move around and still trying to kind of keep the social interaction going by meeting new people, collaborating with them, and also supporting them, because I realize it's a big thing that people do need this a bit of a sponsorship. So I will go and support and just show up and meet them and just meet new friends, because once again, I'm new here in this county, so I needed to make new friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you officially start Made for More Legacy? I
launched Made for More Legacy, I would say, in 2024. That's when I asked someone to help me out with the LLC, the EIN, all these things, and then from there I came up with the logo. When everything I do is by drawing, so I drew the logo, the sun and the mountains, meaning like there's mountains are rising and there's a sun behind it. That means like I'm shining, but also I'm helping others elevating. And then for my 30th birthday, I decided to do an event. Instead of having a birthday party, I said I'm going to have an empowerment event by inviting women from all across the board. So I already met some friends in the social work, in the healthcare, in fitness, in therapy, and so on. And I reached out to them, and author as well. I reached out to them. I said, guys, if I do an event and I will call it Made for More, would you be my speaker? And granted, they all said yes. I said, you know what, say less. So I created a group chat. I brought everybody on board. We sat down and I told them, this is the plan I have. It will be for my 30th birthday. We're going to have an event where we're going to invite people to come in, because my thought process was doing Made for More. Because I became an author now, I was able to execute a goal. I'm sure a lot of people either have stories or they have a business idea they want to execute, but they don't know how, or they don't know how to start. But in that day, when we meet, I'll bring people to pretty much talk about where they started, how they got here, and if anybody's in the crowd have some questions or able to, wanting to be mentored or wanting to learn, everyone is here. So I did just that, and that was my 30th birthday, and it was the best birthday ever. And then from there, I started being invited to other women's event to be a speaker, to be a panelist, and that's how Made for More became a thing, and it's still a thing to this day. And I'm grateful for it.
Jason.
So how do you see this coming together? Like you're in school for, what's your degree that you're going after?
Bachelor of Health Science.
And then you said you're going for your master's after that, or?
That's the goal. We'll see when I finish.
Okay, I guess where I'm going with this is like, how does this all tie together, or how do you see it tying together, like in the future? Because you have this healthcare background.
So the goal for me, of course, as I grow more into healthcare, is now I will lean on more into the healthcare side by, being a speaker. If I get invited to another women's event, now I'll be more talking about health, like, critical care and so on and so on. And the past from the authorship, the mentorship, still a thing. Yes, in the future, if I want to mentor some more, then yes. But I'm sure eventually I'll put a pause to it just to kind of have a little break here and there. But in the future, the goal is to continue to grow and become a speaker about both from the side of authorship. I do want to write more, not right now. I did have another one in the pipeline, but I have to put it on pause just so I can finish and then continue on with the same thing, both in healthcare and in entrepreneurship and so on. So that's the goal for me, at least right now, for now.
Mm-hmm. For now.
Yeah, for now.
And then on top of that, you have like a financial background. Is that right?
Yes. So it was a partnership. My friend, he started his business. The name is Supreme, right? And my dad, by the way, is an accountant, and my brother, guys. So finances is in the blood already. So that one, it's firmly in the pipeline. But when he opened his tax firm, he invited me into it. At first, I was like, first of all, I'm in healthcare. I don't know nothing about that. He was like, no, you can learn. And I saw it as another opportunity to learn about, okay, what is taxes? Why do people do taxes? And what is this all about? So he told me, come and learn. So I decided to partner up with him. But to Made for More, since I already did events, he was like, well, you can help me to events for my company whenever we need to do network events. And while I learn about taxes, and I'll provide my service by doing an event. So it became a transaction. So now that I've gained another skill, right? I've gained another skill by learning how to do taxes, became a whole tax consultant or whatever. And I also provided for them whenever we would do some network events. I'll be the one doing it as I sit on the board for his company. And that's how I became a whole partner with my own friend.
And I guess it does kind of tie in, because it's like, get your health right, get your finances right,
Absolutely.
Get your mindset right.
Absolutely. That's how it all tied in, because I did put it all together. I'm like, well, health and finances, especially nowadays, you need both of them, right? Health is one thing. You also need the money. If you don't have the money, your health can be jacked up. So I said, you know what, let me get the best of both worlds. And once again, it's by season. I try not to overwhelm myself, because I've tasted burnout before, and I've learned, no, we don't need to do too much. So by season, I plan well and I show up just as is.
Yeah, that's really important. Like the
Yeah.
power of saying no, right? That's like
Yeah,
a whole sentence.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm big on that. I say no quite often. And I get invited to a lot of events now more than I'm being more prone on social media. People are seeing a young professional and an entrepreneur coming. It's like, hey, I want you to come to this, I want you to come to that. But sometimes I can't. So what I would do, I've learned I'm big on honoring people, whatever you're doing, I love to honor you in any way that I can if I see fit, right? Either I would send someone out on my behalf, or hey, how can I sponsor you? Can I purchase a ticket for somebody else? Because I think in entrepreneurship, people do need that extra boost, feeling like being encouraged. So I would do that. So if I'm not there physically present, I will try my best to sponsor, support away from the event. And then next one, if I can make it, I'll definitely try my best to show my face and be a part of it if I
That's good
can.
energy too.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
energy that comes back to
absolutely.
you. Yeah.
Always, I've seen it. It comes back to me more than I thought. I didn't think it would have been a thing, but it does come back to you. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay, we're going to have to take another break here in just a few moments. Once again, you can find Eloise Benoit on Instagram, Facebook. You can also find her at madeformorelegacy.com, madeformorelegacy.com. And don't forget to find her book, Unwired. And I'm sure you'll find that to be a great read. And you said you did the artwork for the cover. Did I hear that
Yes,
right?
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
All right. Well, maybe
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that when we come back as well. All right. Back to Eloise Benoit. And Eloise, did I hear you mention earlier that you help people with taxes too, or something like that?
I do, and it's the season for it, which we have 2 more weeks left before the deadline. Although you can do extension, but April 15 is the last day. So, yes, I've partnered up with Supreme Financial Services here in Orlando, and that's my friend's company. His name is Carl. He's a brilliant young man doing amazing things in the community, and I've gotten the chance to work with him in the last few years, and I'm a part of his, the company. I get to help out a lot in many different things, but we do serve in taxes, and I would love, if you haven't filed your taxes yet, please do come and see us in Orlando right here at 6220 South Orange Blossom Trail, and we would love to help you and serve you.
6220 South Orange Blossom Trail. Okay, for help with taxes. And there's been a lot of changes since last year, so you're probably going to need help
Yes.
with those things. So, are you planning to write another book?
I already have one. It's already written. It's already written. It's already written. It's just not the time to publish it out yet. Once again, because Unwired was the first one, my first baby, and it has done a great work, both in me and everyone else that's read it or any conference I've been to. Right after that, I was told it would be easy to write a second book, and truly it was. So I started to write the second one, and although I'm finished, but I'm sure because of timing, I'd rather wait some more to either add on to it, and then at the right time, I'll publish the second one again. Yeah, that's the goal.
I could see that as another thing that you could possibly help people with, if that's something you're interested in, is showing people how to
Absolutely.
write books. You know the process.
Exactly,
Like bringing
exactly.
their story to the world is something that
Yeah.
I think that you would be really good at. Is that something you're thinking about for the future?
No, but now that you said it, I'll ponder on it.
Yeah, there you go. Another source.
Are you
another
doing?
revenue source? For
Are you doing
Exactly.
Are you doing the cover illustration as well? Again?
I already had some ideas, so yes, I will. I will be doing the illustration again.
It
And
sounds
now
like-
with AI, I can ask AI to help me too. But I like to draw it first.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like you are a bit of an artist. Where did you pick up that skill? Or did it just come to you naturally?
I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, my brother used to say if I draw, he'll give me money. So I remember I should just draw the sun and the beach and the birds, but I don't know where it comes from. I'm grateful for the creativity side of me, but I'm not sure because there's no one else in the family that's a creative mind, or an artist. Hey, I've just been blessed.
Would you consider yourself to be like a left brain analytical person because you deal with taxes, numbers, but then you've got this
Absolutely.
like
I am
creative
big.
side.
I'm big on the left brain. I'm multifaceted. I'm multidimensional. So,
Well,
We'll see.
okay, all right. And the young ladies that you're working with now, it's so much is going on now with the these handheld devices that we have. That you have social media platforms now. You got AI on that. How does that make it? Is it more difficult? I would think it would be more difficult dealing with young ladies given that.
So we get the chance to meet via Zoom when we do get to meet, right? But we also have, they have an app they created for them. So when they need some extra help, they can always reach out to that. And that's how I'm able to continue the conversation with them. And if they need any extra help, I'm right there, always trying to involve myself for them to the best of my ability. But it's mainly through Zoom when we meet. But I would love to travel one day and go meet them face to face. At least I would love to do that after I graduate.
And when you communicate with them, how much does the faith-based part come through? Is it overt? Is it? Please.
They have a curriculum they follow, so it's not every Saturday when we meet. We talk about faith-based, but I do include it every now and then in the curriculum because it's more about young girls that either struggle in when they were young or abuse or even don't have enough resources to go back to school. There's so many, each of them have different background, right? So when I come in on board, and we do get trained as well, anyone that wants to help out with these young girls as a mentor, we also get trained. We go through the process of who are you, the background and all these things. So when we come, we follow the curriculum that they have, and if we want to add to it, we can sit down and ask them, will we think this will be great for the girls? And then they graduate out after each cohort is done. They graduate and we get to be a part of it. Like last year, even though I wasn't so present, they chose me as their keynote speaker, so I was able to be on there while they were graduating to get their certificate to be done. And then after that, when they're done with the cohort, they get to be helped out by either the government, the institution that they've partnered up with, to pretty much help them out to continue to grow, because they're like under 18. So after they turn 18, they have some form of structure. Well, I want to become this, I want to become that, and they get to have someone that can help them be exactly who they're called to be.
And how do these girls come to you? Is this all by word of mouth?
No, to the organization. The organization is in 3 countries. Like I said, the Kenya, Ghana, and Nigeria. I guess they promote it in that country, and then they pick them, and they provide me with the different groups. So each year, it's a different set of girls that will come to me as mentees.
That's what I meant. How did they get to you from these other countries? Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Oh, so they just connect me with them, once again, through the app that they have. And then every weekend we have the Zoom link. So we sit down and they send me their information about their name, who they are, what they're struggling with, the constant communication through email, text messages, phone calls, and all that. That's how I get the chance to. And then when we meet, I know, okay, I already know who they are. I have a brief history about who they are. And then I introduce myself, and we build a relationship from that.
Boy, the world really has changed, with Zoom and everything. You're able to mentor these girls, clearly on the other side of the world.
Exactly.
And we just have a couple of minutes left. Do you have any other thoughts that you'd like to mention to the audience?
I would say number one, thank you, Jason. Thank you for allowing me to come here at the Score to even share my story, and to just for anyone listening that truly you're made for more.
Made for more. Just expand on that a little bit, because go ahead.
Okay, what I would want to say is that I think sometimes we are limiting ourselves. Sometimes we think it's our circumstances or our past. As for me, it was more like, well, I'm from a different country. I'm here to a new country. Then, therefore, I don't think I can do so much more. But yeah, I've gotten to the point where I was able to do a lot and accomplish a lot, which I'm so grateful for. It's only by the grace of God. But don't limit yourself. Don't do it, because there's so much more to you. There's much more in you. There's so much talent and gift that you have that can be benefits to the world. I can see it for me, and I'm sure Jason can testify to that as well. And there's much more to you, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise.
Yeah, and I know we got to wrap here in a couple minutes, but just like you mentioned, God and faith and things like that. Like for you, like what does it look like to walk in purpose? Like what does that mean to you?
It's enlightening. It's very inspiring. Of course, some days can be a little bit challenging, but it's beautiful. I get to wake up daily, even when things get tough, to know I can still make an impact on someone. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Like, it doesn't have to take money. It could just be my kindness or my smile or just, to the things I've accomplished. And therefore, I'm grateful that I've been placed on this earth to do exactly that. And when all else is done, then I've done my part.
Yep. We were put here for more than just being
Yeah,
here, right?
exactly.
All right. MadeForMoreLegacy.com is Eloise's website. That's where you can also find her book. You can also find her and her book. You can order on Instagram, Facebook, and also Lulu.com and Amazon for the book Unwired. And then also check it. Also, if you'd like to contact Eloise, you can do it via the website as well, MadeForMoreLegacy.com. Well, we are just about out of time today, but once again, another excellent guest, and thanks for being with us today, Eloise.
Awesome. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
Eloise.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Thank you, guys.
Okay, very good. And don't forget to also please go to orlando.score.org, sign up for the newsletter there. That way you'll know everything that SCORE has going on. And don't forget, you'll have the webinars that you'll be able to pick and choose from daily as well. That's orlando.score.org. And if you want to visit the SCORE offices, as Jason invited you to, just go to 420-4844. 420-4844. By the way, if you're a homeschooler or somebody that does that sort of thing, or maybe even you could get with the folks at your school, local school, it'd be a great field trip. I think, Jason, you referred to it as that earlier, so that's a great idea. Very educational experience it is. All right. Okay, so thanks for being with us today. Until next week, that is all for What's the Score?